about another one that I've come upon. I felt kind of interested in. I thought we should talk about it. How people talk about them not being dangerous. This is going to be at the Land Between the Lakes. A park ranger says he met a couple that was sitting down there in their camper. They were ready to go camping. The park ranger said there was a male, a female, mother, father. He believed the father may have been a lawyer or a doctor. He couldn't really recall, but they were there with two kids. There was a male approximately 8 years of age and a female approximately 5 years of age. Said he stayed, visited with them for a while. Really nice people. He noticed that they had Florida plates. They were from out of state, and they were looking forward to having a relaxed vacation. At about 0500 hours on his watch, the park ranger heard a commotion of some sort and had gone to investigate. He heard what he thought was animal sounds, deep, scary howls, and screeches in the direction of the family he had just met. He also heard what he thought was the beginning of human screams and baying on the hard surface. It sounded like tin. At that time, he went to go check out, I guess, what was going on over there and trying to figure out, At approximately 0054, he arrived and he witnessed the screen door was partially torn and lower pane right window was shattered. He then drew his weapon to investigate the scene because of the screams and howls, busted window, and the halfway torn off door. At this point, he also called the sheriff's department for backup. Officers and agents reported that something out of the ordinary had happened. Kind of just make sure I get to see all right. Sheriff's Deputy Philip Douglas, his ID number 7754, also seen the torn door and shattered window. There was a large pool of blood on the inside of the camper. Just past the pool of blood was a severed left arm. It had been severed from the hand to the mid-bicep. That takes a lot of power, a lot of strength. The severed arm was belonging to Miss Young. It was lying in the floor. That's terrible. Mr. Young was lying against the rear wall, partially in the kitchen. He could not discern the position or placement of the kids looking in from the door. He was then ordered to wait for the sheriff to arrive. Sheriff's statement at 0100, I arrived at the camper at about 0120. I was able to locate the dismembered bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Young. The young male body, Bradley Young, the young child, Megan Young, the female child, was not located. Cinderella PJ bottoms torn and shredded at the rear of the trailer, and the outside found by another deputy, Alfred Myers. The bodies were so butchered that it was hard to tell what went where on the inside of this camper. They were just pretty much slaughtered. They said that they couldn't tell what belonged to who. They were just pretty much slaughtered together. Horrific scene. I was able to get a hold of this. I did find out there was 3 coroners called to the scene, which is, I guess, for something like that, they probably would be a horrendous sight. But coroner's report: incisors or large claws did the damage. 4 long claw marks on the father's back with what appeared to be a smaller one representing a thumb on the side. Bite marks investigated were larger than any animal in the area by far. Long snout bite marks where muscle, bone, and meat were ripped away. It takes a lot of strength for something to be able to bite through bone and muscle and to rip, stuff away. That takes a lot of strength. DNA saliva fur was sent off. It came back inconclusive. Closest was a canine match, but not a match. Megan was later found, the little missing girl. She was found in the woods up a tree, half eaten 50 yards away. They said the officer that found her, he'd went out to look for her, and he started screaming out in the dark like he was terrified. Everybody come running to him. The front of him was soaked in blood. He was holding his hat, his duty hat. His duty hat's dripping with blood. He's standing there underneath the tree, and they look up, and there's this little girl, half devoured, they said, gently laid over a branch. Whatever it is took the little girl with it to, I guess, finish feeding. Some of the history was some of the first people in this region were European trappers. They were actually French trappers and hunters. They said the woods was prowled by a half-man and half-wolf creature. They said multiple corpses were left in its wake. They called the beast the loup-garou. They said it killed their livestock and walked on two legs. It wasn't uncommon for that to happen with the European trappers. Park ranger, a male approximately 8 years of age, female approximately 5. He keeps repeating himself in his report. That means, I'm guessing, he had a lot of troubles with the scene. Hikers and bikers to this day still, feel stalked in the woods when they go into the woods. People that know the area, they won't go to the area. They say that there is something in the woods. They know there's something in the woods, and they say it will kill you. They report hearing deep growl howls. The park ranger says to this day they are still receiving reports and calls in of mysterious sounds, mysterious beasts that are bipedal crossing the road in front of vehicles. The most recent report was August 2010. A witness described the beast to be 7 foot to 7.5 foot tall, 3 foot in width. He was stocky, matted, medium brown hair. At first she thought it was a tree, but then realized it was chasing a deer. She said it ran right past the driver's side of her window and seemed to have a surprised look on its eyes. She said it was so close to the vehicle she could have reached out and touched it. Her son was also in the car and witnessed the creature. In 1973, some college students were camping in the area, reported hearing the howls louder and deeper than they could even imagine it being an animal. They said it was so scary they could just feel it. They went to leave because they were scared from camping. They got into their Volkswagen and tried to drive off. Something that said felt like was holding their Volkswagen back. When they got back to the college, they noticed there was deep scratch wounds through the rear of the car trunk, down toward the motor, and what appeared to be large fingernail handprints. This had also happened to some other vehicles in the area. It reported the same thing of a beast holding onto their car, large gouges in their car, and the car being held. So it's attacking cars, it's attacking people. This is yet another attack where 4 people were killed. There's other reports that there was more people killed in this area. I'm still researching that, looking into that. Seems to be a very dangerous place. Again, autopsy reports, unknown animal, and then it goes down to say they believe that it's canine in nature, but yet the bite marks are bigger than any animal in the area. Just a lot of things don't add up, same as the other ones. The father was reported to have been so scared that whenever their camper trailer was attacked, he did fire and kill the 8-year-old male. So there was a lot of panicking going on. I would guess there was probably more than one attacked him. He, supposedly shot out the front door at one, shotgun, probably injuring it. It probably, I would say, ran off. I'd say the other ones probably took care of him. I'm just, in my mind, I'm picturing just this pack of terrible beasts attacking them. And the horror that must have went through their minds as the little girl was carried off into the woods and the mother's arm is ripped off. It makes you wonder, was her arm ripped off trying to hold her baby back, and just ripped her arm off, took the little girl from her. The terror that must have been in the father's mind trying to shoot it and then accidentally shooting your son, or maybe he had a hold of his son and he was trying to shoot it to get it off of his son. Very horrific, very horrific. If y'all are out, be careful if you're camping. Be aware of where you're at. I would even suggest camping in an area that is more populated by people. Try not to be out alone. Be in populated areas. If you put yourself out alone, I think you're putting yourself out and making yourself prey. Seems to be happening a lot. We got some more stuff we're working on. I got a live one that's coming out. It's going to be coming out with Pecos. He was attacked. He was actually injured. Spent some time in the ER. I'm not sure about his friend. I know his friend was probably there. We're going to find out more about that. He's going to do a call-in. Should be a very interesting video. But I believe it's the first time he's ever been attacked. He's done a lot of hunting and investigations, and I think this is his first time to actually be attacked and injured to where he had to go to the emergency room. But we'll be putting that out here pretty soon. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell, because if you don't, you'll miss our new ones coming out, and you won't be notified to be able to see our newest ones as they come out. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. We got some good stuff coming out, and be careful, stay safe, and be aware of your surroundings. Until next time, guys.